All right, recently I really wanted to do an art challenge video, and I was looking through YouTube and I came across one of my favorite channels, Sam Does Art. If you don't know who Sam Does Art is, get out there, have a look. I've left a link down in the description below. He's absolutely fantastic. But about a year ago, he put up a video where he took photos of objects around his house. He took the shapes from those objects and created characters out of them. Now, this video was based on another video which a TikToker did before this, and all I'm doing today is doing my own take on it. They've both inspired me to do my own version. This video is really cool. In the video, Sam talks about the objects that this original TikToker took photos of, lowered the opacity there, and then created, different characters from those. This was a lot of fun watching Sam do this, and what I decided to do today was take a photo of a few different objects, but primarily work on one of those objects and see what we can create. So after having a look around my house, which was quite hard by the way, a lot of objects look really similar these days, and I had to try and find something unique. I found this hairbrush, which we use for my 5-year-old boy to comb his hair out. So we're going to take this object, we're going to bring it into Procreate, and we'll go from there. All right, so in Procreate, I've sketched around the initial object and used a really bright color, like a pinky sort of a red. I filled in that object, and then I've lowered the opacity. From here, I can start sketching ideas onto this, really utilizing the shapes within and then creating something unique. So I think we jump in and start having a chat about that. I instantly thought of a character when I looked at this, obviously something along the lines of like a hedgehog or something with spikes on the back. I thought that would be really, really fun. Let's have a bit of a look. For this, I'm going to change my brush to black. Now, obviously, I've got all my spikes coming out of the back here. We kind of want this to stay the way it is. I think that's going to be a really, really nice end to it. But we've also got this really long sort of elongated oval shape. And I think I really want to kind of work with that. I was thinking possibly something with a face up in this top half. So if we have a look down here, I've probably got my center line a little bit further across. I think that's a good place to have it. But then I'm also going to be looking at this eye line. It's possibly going to be somewhere up or higher a little bit, and it's going to wrap around a little bit. It's really important to think about proportions when we do stuff like this. I don't want this character to be too serious as well, so I'm going to go for a really nice sort of happy, almost silly expression on the face, because when I think of a hedgehog, I think of them being pretty happy. Maybe. I don't know. What do you think a hedgehog's personality is most of the time? That's a weird question. Never thought I'd say that, but let's jump in and start having a look at this face a bit more. Thinking like a little button nose in the middle here somewhere, and then we're going to have these really big overarching sort of eyes coming up and down. Little arches up in here. That's kind of cool. Liking the face so far. I think these really long round top eyes, very comic-y, but it really works with this shape. It's an elongated shape, so keeping all the features elongated, I think for me personally, is a really nice touch. We can maybe have the tongue sort of popping out of the back here. We can have black up in the background. And then for the teeth, I think we're maybe going to have, we could do a row of them like this. We could have like some nice perlers, some really nice things. Like he's just been to the dentist, he's got some new veneers. Or we could have some chiclet sort of teeth, like individual ones sort of. Yeah, I think I like the individual ones, to be honest with you. I think it adds a little bit more character to the character. It's like some Inception level sort of stuff there. Let's try and get them in there again. Maybe we'll go with 4. We can start beefing up things like the exterior of this mouth and then add a nice big crease line in along the edge or the corner of this mouth. I think that'll be nice as well. I was thinking we could do maybe like a little stick arm on this as well, maybe with like a bigger glove. What I might do is I might have this character's left arm, which is going to be here, coming forward, like in that running position. And the other arm is going to be dropping back. It's going to be able to work with that original shape. And I think it's going to look a little bit better. Let's have a look. Have a little fold in that arm there. Maybe have like a little elbow piece off the corner. And then we're going to come up into the actual hand or glove itself. I may actually jump in and see what it would be like if I drew the end of the other hand coming out the back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new layer for the spikes because they promise to be something which is going to have a little bit more work in them. And if you're ever in doubt in Procreate, we want to create a new layer. Just easier to adjust things in the future, move things, duplicate things, all that sort of stuff. Also, how fine are hedgehog spikes? Like, are they thick? Are they thin? Probably should do a bit more research. Okay, so they are quite fine. So I think the key here is going to be defining each of these. Make sure we get some much bigger spikes in there. If you can think of a really good name for this character out there, please let me know in the comments below, because at the moment it's turning out pretty cool and I think we need to come up with a name for this character. If anyone out there says Hedgie, I'm not going to be happy. Come on, a little bit more ingenuity than Hedgie. I'm sure we can come up with something that fits this character. Cool. Looking pretty good so far. That hand, I really do like that hand up in here behind the spikes there. Adds an extra layer of depth. The one bit I really am going to add onto this original shape, I am breaking away from the original shape just a little bit, but I do think I need to add some legs in here. Just got to figure out exactly how they're going to sit, because again, this character is running, so how can we get these legs in there to not only show that, but not really take away from the original shape too much. I might create another layer over the top just so I can work on a leg layer on its own. That way I can move around each individual object and maybe get that running vibe a little bit more. So I'm really trying to think in my head, when you run or when we run, do we oppose when it comes to the leg that's up and running? I think we do. I'm pretty sure we do. I'm going to have the leg behind be the one that's raised up in the running pose, because this left arm is the one that's up, so I kind of want the right leg. But the reason I had it on its own layer is what I can do now is come in and sort of change these legs and get more of a running vibe, change position. I like the size of them, and already just from changing that one little bit when it comes to the orientation of these legs, I think that's a much better running pose. So we can come in, drop that opacity right down, and then we're going to sketch over the top on that layer again. Now start drawing the boots, because I don't know, I think it needs boots. If we went with gloves on the hands, we definitely need gloves on the boots. We need gloves on the boots. Boom, that makes sense. We need shoes on the feet to go with the gloves on the hands. So with this right boot, we're probably going to see part of the sole under that boot. We're going to go back into that layer we created underneath, and we're going to get rid of some of these supporting colors. Overall, really, really liking the way this character is turning out. I think he's happy. I think he's fun. Let's work on the bottom part here just a little bit. I might create a new layer, and I might just reduce this little angle here a little bit. I just think it's going to come to a nicer finish if we just round it off. I'm thinking when it comes to the top of this character, we definitely want to have this rounded section here, which we like. That's looking really good. Yeah, I quite like that. I think I could even give him a few little ones coming up here. We're going to condense all of our sketch layers there. We're going to duplicate it out a couple of times to make everything a little bit thicker, and we're going to go start erasing a few parts of it here just to make sure we understand what's going on when it comes to the sketch. But at the moment, I'm going to call this character Billy. No idea why. Billy for a hedgehog? What a horrible name decision. Let me know if you like Billy down below. We're going to jump into our layers. We're going to turn off that original shape down below, and already this character is looking pretty awesome. What I'll do now is I'm going to hit that end. I'm going to drop the opacity. I'm going to create another layer over the top, and I'm going to get a nice studio pen, something that I can outline with over the top. If you're like me, you've got way too many brush categories in Procreate. You can never have too many brushes though. And we're just going to jump over the top of this, and we're just going to do a really nice outline and see how it turns out. All right, let's jump in. Let's smash out the rest of this character. We're going to leave the spikes till last. With these lines as well, we want to make sure we're finishing any taper line like this at the end of the stroke, because we're going to get the nicest tail off possible. And all that's left now is the spikes, and just like before when sketching them, I'm going to create a layer just for them, just in case we need to change things in the future. That's really, really cool. Let's turn off the sketch layer below, and we have our character that is developed. This turned out way better than I expected. I'm going to be really honest with you. I didn't know what to expect when starting a project like this. Essentially taking an object from around my house. It was the hairbrush, which looked like this originally, and then turning it into this character over the top was a heap of fun, and it really allowed me to get outside my normal comfort zone and create something which I normally wouldn't create. And overall, I'm super happy with how this is looking. The hedgehog. That's the video today. I had so much fun. Big thanks to Sam Does Art for putting a video up similar to this about a year ago, which I drew inspiration from and allowed me to create something really cool as an artist. So thank you to Sam, and also thank you to the original creator on TikTok who did this. I'm definitely going to continue doing this, and I encourage you all out there to start doing something similar because it can help you step out of your comfort zone and create some really cool art. All right, until the next video, get out there, start creating or keep creating, and I'll catch you in the next video.